lively right through the break.
Oh my
right?
gosh! I mean, I wish the cameras had been rolling
Yeah.
through the break,
We'll
but
get
we
it.
are back, and Don,
And we want to
got-
pay tribute to our business
There you
sponsors
go.
who stand with us and make this show even possible. And primarily that is David Bass, DB and Company Printing and Marketing on G Street, right next door to Happy Jack's. Everybody know where's that is. And he just provides marvelous services in marketing to some of the biggest companies in Bakersfield. You need to check him out if you need that kind of help for your business. It's just dbandcompany.com, David Bass. Next one up, I think we've got, and one of our newest sponsors is Cruise Through Car Wash. Boy, I'm there every day with my black car.
I love them.
And the Lava Cruise, they've got 9 locations to serve you, including 2 across the mountains. So thanks so much for being with us. Enjoy the sounds and sounds of an active volcano. Hey, you've got car insurance, you've got health insurance, you've got boat insurance. You need legal insurance where you can call a top law firm and not worry about a $200 an hour legal fee. And for pennies, get help with issues that are trivial or traumatic. They can do it for you. I want to give you the cell number you need to call. Check this out, 707-537-5881. And I think we've got Kern Construction. We're talking Robert Miller, a guy who can do just about anything around your home and property. He's sure doing a lot around our place. The number there, 322-5554. All right, we're back. Stafford, let you jump in here. You've been sitting patiently and listening. Your thoughts at this point?
Sure. First of all, I was very happy to hear Imad make the distinction between true Muslims and bad fruit, as what he calls. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't agree more with him on that. I know very well that most Muslims are good fruit, but there are plenty of them who are bad. And they're the ones who tend to be in the news. They tend to be the ones who are relevant to what's happening in our world today that is so shaking to non-Muslims. The good majority, like Imad, are basically irrelevant to what's going on in history in 2015. Let me go ahead and give you a quotation from Will Durant, and then I'll tie in what's going on today with this quotation. He says, and again, I'm a Hindu scholar and an India scholar, so I follow what's going on. I'm well aware of the atrocities that were committed against Hindus by Muslims. Will Durant, one of our great historians, was too, and this is what he said about it. The Islamic conquest of India is probably the bloodiest story in history. It is a discouraging tale, for its moral is that at any moment a civilization can be overthrown by barbarians invading from without and multiplying from within. Now, the invaders were bad fruit. They were Muslims, but they were bad fruit. Here is another quotation from another scholar of Islam. These massacres, again, he's talking about the massacres of Hindus by Muslims over the last 1,100 years. These, stopping short of the British takeover in the early 19th century, these massacres by Muslims in India are unparalleled in history. In sheer numbers, they are bigger than the Jewish Holocaust, the Soviet terror, the Japanese massacres of the Chinese during World War II, Mao's devastation of the Chinese peasantry, the massacres of the Armenians by the Turks, or any of the famous crimes against humanity of the 20th century. But sadly, they are almost unknown outside India. Now, it's politically incorrect for me to bring these facts of history up. What's interesting is that we know about these facts not from outsiders. We know of them from the secretaries who kept a record of the atrocities that were proudly written down and inscribed for other Muslims. And I'm talking about the secretaries of the conquerors themselves, like Mahmud, the Sword of Islam. So these are, in other words, when we look at today, in 2015, when we look at Islamic State, it just seems like more of the same stuff. It just seems like this is history repeating itself.
Okay,
There
Imad,
always
your
seem to
response.
be. Go ahead. That's my concern, and it's the concern of many people, not just.
We've
of
got
me.
3 minutes.
Well, not to get into the details of what the professor is bringing up, just to get into the overall idea, is he suggesting then that Islamic history is just riddled with blood and bloodshed, and that we don't see this anywhere else but in Islam. I will just at least propose to the professor to look into history and see, once Christianity did develop its authority and decide in the 4th century that it was going to be the religion of the empire, there was a subjugation process that went on for any dissenters whatsoever, and that was brutal. And it was a killing, murderous spree to be sure that everyone conformed. Once that took place, then there was the subjugation of Western Europe, who was not Christian. And that wasn't done with flowers and candy. That was done with armies and brutality. And it continued throughout the entire history of Christendom until the separation of church and state and the Reformation finally decided that enough was enough, just a few centuries ago. Okay, I am not an expert in Hindu history, nor do I even know of who he's speaking of. So for me to get into the details would not be fair to this discussion, okay? I will say this. The Prophet Muhammad said, peace be upon him, when you go out to fight the enemies of God, okay, do not kill their women, do not kill their children, do not kill their elderly, do not kill their monks who have dedicated themselves to God, do not kill their animals, do not cut down their vegetation that men and beasts receive sustenance from, and do not destroy their buildings. And when he was talking about their women,
So when the Twin Tower came down, that was an
he said,
anti-Muslim.
do not destroy their buildings. Now, only in warfare, when the buildings are being used to shoot at you, okay, when the trees, they're hiding behind the trees and throwing, arrows at you, and the women are out there fighting and shooting at you, and so on and so forth, are they fair game? That is the only time they're fair game, okay? Moreover, one last thing. There are people that try to suggest, like the radical, this ISIS cult, that as long as people are using polls like that's it, that's the gospel. Go check the reality on these polls and what they're really about. ISIS and Al-Qaeda and even Osama bin Laden tried to use polls to suggest that if they pay their taxes and the majority of them support their armies, then they're fair game. Do you think when the Prophet Muhammad was saying their women, their children, their elderly, their monks, and their so on and so forth, that he meant that they supported us?
Yeah.
That those people supported the Muslim armies?
Gentlemen, I
meant
really,
those people that supported them
commend
off-
both of
off-
you for coming to this forum and sharing your thoughts so openly. Of course, so much more to talk about.
Thank you, Don.
We thank you for watching, and let's hope we've all learned something here. We'll see you next week. Tina will be back. We'll shove you off the stage here,
I'm
Bob.
off. I'm out.
Take care, everybody. God bless.